fino alla fine, forza Juventus. God, that gets me pumped every time. The drums in that track, let's rock and roll, baby. We got ourselves a match day. It's Champions League match day. I got Skanga, I got Omer. All right, it's Club Brugge. We're going to go to the German club today. Okay? Skanga, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I did a lot of hopefully necessary reading for today's show yesterday. Hopefully it pans out. Did a lot of studying. This is going to be a beauty. Hopefully. If not, oh well. Another Tuesday.
If not, oh well. Is what it is. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about in the news, the build up to this game. June Tully right now. The heat's on. We're waiting for this cavalry, and people are clowning them, saying, buddy, you've had enough time. January 21st, and TikTok.
Settle down.
Mother. Omer, how you doing, brother?
Well, I've done a lot of studying in the past 2 minutes before the show, so I'll be able to keep up with Tony.
There you go.
But all in all, I'm very good. A bit sick, just a bit, but not sick enough to not be here.
All right.
Sick and tired, or just sick?
Well, tired is a given, always.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Time to take care of business. The news headlines before we get into Club Brugge versus Juventus Champions League. A big one for a situation Juve's banking on. Big one towards that round of 16, maybe top 8 qualification if we win out. Club Brugge and Benfica puts us in a good spot to do exactly that, avoid playoffs, but one step at a time. For the news, still waiting for that center back. Renato Vega is the latest, and they want, 20 million euros, but they want like a permanent deal. Juve wants a loan. Guess what they're doing today? Chelsea's looking into their loan slots available, and if they have any. So you don't hear about anything like ever, and then all of a sudden you just hear about it back to back, etc. So we're waiting on this with Renato Vega. Let's just talk about him as a target in general, and maybe if there's something else going on with the fact that he's a center back that can also play at the left back. So is Lloyd Kelly. And the Lloyd Kelly one is the one that kind of pisses people off because he was free in the summer. We were looking at him the year before, and now you've circled back. You've said goodbye to Giallo, Rugani, Hoysen, Facundo Gonzalez, to circle back to a guy that was free in the summer that you did target at some point or value at some point to pick up now for around 18 million euros. And this has fans looking at Giuntoli like, what exactly are we doing? But we're not going to dive into Giuntoli just yet. Renato Vega, Omer, do you like him as a target?
To be honest, I don't know him that well to have any concrete opinion. We've always said just another body, someone with pulse, and we're good. So I see some people like him in the chat, so I'll trust them. I haven't watched him enough. If they're saying they want him, I'm with the chat.
Yeah.
This is the one time where I actually know a player and Omer doesn't.
Let's go.
I'm just joking. I have no idea who this guy is. Not a goddamn clue.
It makes sense. It is a price tag that, again, it's around that number where you're not going to get a whole lot. Okay, so the fact that he does carry versatility, he could have some high upside. That's the route you want to go if you're going to be doing this. Again, looking for Bremer's long-term associate is probably not the way to do business in January. And it felt like we wasted a lot of time chasing that. Renato Vega, let's see if it plays out. Lloyd Kelly, on the other hand, doesn't do a whole lot for me. But we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's going to turn into a spot where I don't care who the hell it is. These guys need some support, bring it in. But something that's come out of this, as people keep talking about, eventually you're going to need that guy, that main guy next to Bremer. There was a discussion that opened up outside of this involving Gatti. Is Gatti not shown enough respect? Or is he shown just the right amount for you personally? Is he that guy that should be next to Bremer long term? Because this is something that's literally come out of a lot of the discussions around center backs and who we choose and moving forward in the future. And it's like, why are we disrespecting Gatti? Are we? What do you think?
I kind of agree.
Huh?
I mean, I think Gatti is doing just fine. He's not a problem right now in defense. Yeah, he was thrown into a situation that none of us expected, and he kind of has to be the leader of the defense, which is fine. But I think he's progressing. He's much better than he was last season. So yeah, I would still invest in him and keep him. I wouldn't look to replace him.
Yeah.
Is Kalulu not historically a fullback?
He is.
He is.
So really, Gatti's our only center back. So
A natural center back, yeah.
Natural, yeah.
So him being our only natural center back, playing game in and game out, mistakes are going to happen. You know, he didn't really have not a lot of time with those leaders in front of him to kind of help groom him. If there's any hate, I wouldn't understand what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah,
Logging a lot of minutes.
I don't know, like, and the whole thing for me was I wasn't even really thinking that far ahead. But then this just got me thinking, are we disrespecting him? But for me, it was like, I was saying the opposite. I was saying January is not where you go find this. Like, you don't go chase the likes of Araujo, which you should anyways, for 50 million when the guy is a band-aid, etc. So I never really thought about it. But Gatti's been doing a good job. He's been doing a good job, and he's made significant strides in his game. But two center backs in general, even when Bremer comes back, I mean, you're still going to need bodies. Whether somebody ends up taking over as the main go-to next to Bremer, that's the least of our concerns right now. Let's get some center backs into the actual squad. We go from there. Danilo, as Matt has brought up, he said, where is it here? Are we essentially saying that Lloyd Kelly is better than just keeping Danilo around? Because Danilo's termination is going to take place smartly after the Napoli match. But I still wouldn't do it in general. They can wait till the summer. But Danilo, it's obviously broken. They want nothing to do with it. They just want to cut the ties. But Danilo at center back was not a good look. At fullback, he can provide support this year. But at center back, it just wasn't happening. It just looks like it's going that road. And they're saying that next week is when we get that farewell and that termination for him. We got to now go to our players being targeted. Fagioli does have interested clubs out of England. We wait to see if anything comes out of that. But Dusan Vlahovic, could a situation be opening up there? Maybe, potentially. But apparently, nobody's going to stop it if somebody comes in January. You could see that for multiple reasons why that would be the best play. It's going to tie into the finances. I mean, now you do have Kolomoani. We're still waiting for PSG to sort their shit out.
Allegedly, you have Kolomoani.
He's training with the club. Heavens forbid he gets hurt. What happens there?
Oh my God.
But that's going to get finalized. You've got Lico Gonzalez, who has been doing a good job. He was on the flop list before. And we might talk about the flop list, flop and top list for old June Tully here as we get into the finances. But with Dusan, it looks like nobody's going to stop it. And Arsenal rumored around, Chelsea rumored around. It makes no sense to me with 1 million players on the roster, etc. I can't see it. Not really buying into that one. But the rumor is just that if somebody comes, they're not going to say no. I still think all signs point towards the summer. Manchester City. They have serious interest in Cambiaso and in Douglas Luiz. The big rumor of today, 100 million swoop for both players at the same time. What I heard yesterday was it's only a matter of time. There is 100%. They went as far to say 100% an offer from City is arriving for Cambiaso. They didn't say anything about Douglas Luiz. So, if that's the case, okay?
Yes.
Let's talk about this. We never got Omer's take on the Cambi because he wasn't around for those shows and everything, and neither were you really, Tony, but Cambiaso sale.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it in general before we get to any numbers?
Well, I feel kind of horrible about it. And for a number of reasons, but I'll narrow it down to like two. First of all, I like him. I think he's like Juve material. He's one of our better players. He's on a pretty bad run right now after the injury, but we shouldn't be too quick to judge, and it happens to all players. I think that's Juve's main problem this season is that the players are not performing consistently, like lots of ups and downs. And when Cambiaso and Vlahovic were killing it, then Nico and Douglas and even Yildiz haven't gotten into the rhythm yet. And now that they're killing it, the other guys are kind of not playing their part. So there is an issue there, but I will absolutely not give up on him because of a few bad games. And I guess Juve won too, so probably it's a money thing. And that's the other issue. It keeps a trend going of just don't get attached to players. They probably won't stay. And I have an issue with that. That's how I like to watch games, how I like to watch football. I like to watch the players I watch. I don't like to watch it as a business and consider everything based on just money. And I bought a Chiesa jersey and he's out. I bought a Thuram jersey. Who's to say he's not going to get sold in the summer for 100 million? Now, Juve need the money. That's the reality of the market today. Those numbers are super high and can help us a lot. On the other hand, I can't get attached to any player because he's probably going to leave. And I don't like that trend. I absolutely love, admiring players and waiting to see them play. I don't wait to see Juve make money. That's a whole other thing. So I don't like the transfer. I get why Juve needs it. I get that he's one of our top profiles, and if you want to get a chunk of money, you need to sell one of your better players. I mean, no one's paying for our tour. So it's a fickle situation, and I don't know what to do about it, to be honest.
Would you sacrifice having to say some of these goodbyes to put your team in a better financial spot so that you could say less goodbyes in the future and build a stronger squad?
Well, money doesn't guarantee a stronger squad. We've seen it with Barcelona and all the hundreds of millions they spent. Chelsea and how much they spend. The money doesn't guarantee, high-profile players for 100 million don't guarantee success. That's why it's a gamble either way. I mean, thank God we haven't bought like a Mudryk or one of those guys and fallen to those prices. But we have been burned with some of the guys that we paid a lot of money for.
We had to sell to buy Kefren Turam.
Of course.
Who's a player that I love watching right now. Mm-hmm. We had to sell to buy some of the guys that we have around right now. Like, that's the reality is.
Yeah, we do have to sell.
The reality is it keeps moving around. Now, again, you look at your squad. Are you going to prioritize not saying goodbye to somebody if it meant bringing in 3 to 4 in one fell swoop? That should improve your team.
Yeah. I would not give up Cambiaso at this point of the season, at this stage of his career.
I'm not talking about January. I said nothing about January. I said you're not going to take that, and you would rather take a stab at trying to do it another way, let me guess. Bring up the money another way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because January is kind of panic buying.
And
It's
that's
always
what the
gonna pan.
majority think, but nobody's getting the money actually spot on. And that's the thing, is that nobody's actually thinking clearly when it comes to the numbers, because they have this, the football financing is fucked. I'm just going to tell you straight up.
It's such a rabbit hole. I spent 4 hours on it.
It's
That's just one team.
It's filthy. It's so convoluted. There's little loopholes here and there. It's a shit show. But the reality is, does Juve have a lot of money? Absolutely. Because of who, though? Exor. Well, guess what? Exor has said no more bonds. Period.
Shutting it off.
They're shutting it down. Could we continue to operate in the negative? Absolutely. It's maybe not as passionate as everybody wants to see. Oh, yeah, no, we keep all these guys, etc. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, if you can look at our team and say you wouldn't instantly try to speed up a retooling or a build to get even stronger, I'm not with you on that level. I'm not on that level. And I'm not on that level for even a guy that I deem one of our best, like Cambiaso. I'm not on that level. I see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the finances, based on what they were tasked with doing. Everybody's hanging on to an assumption that, and to be fair, we won't know until we get to that point, but that's where I want to get to. I want to get there because the way my mind works, figure out your finances, get them to where they've been tasked to be, because then I want to know if you're still going to say goodbye to all these guys. Because if you are, then I know where I need to be as a fan. And I'm probably not going to like it. But then at least I'm prepared. Because right now, it's an assumption being made, but we haven't hit the target that they've been tasked with. Which is to become self-sustainable, no more crazy bonds every year or 2 years because you keep running in the red and it gets out of hand, whatever. Even if the last major one was from COVID, it doesn't matter. They don't want to do that anymore. You got to like take a look at this. So we saw these numbers about a week ago, whatever, but it gives you a basis of some type of understanding of actually how close we are. Total operating revenue there doesn't reflect Champions League because we didn't have Champions League. And that slowed us down again. If we had had Champions League there and you insert that money there, if those expenses stayed the same, they would have went up a bit because you're in Champions League, travel, etc., all this nonsense. But barely any compared to what you're winning, which would have been around, on average, 70 to 90 million. If we keep up with the results historically that we've been getting in that tournament, that would have actually put you to the negative, where your profit or loss before player trading is minus 48, would have actually taken you above to the positive. You might have overall profit and loss after taxes come back under a bit, but it would have been next to nothing. And then is that club? Then I would have really been pissed off. I still am, because there's no sponsorship. That revenue included sponsorship.
That's a big one.
So guess what? This year, your sponsorship goes down. So your revenue, 358, takes a hit right out of the gate. No more sponsorship. Stupid. If we had deals on the table, you take 0 rather than nothing. Rather than something, excuse me. Your revenue goes up this year because of Champions League. Guess what else goes up? Your operating expenses. Because of what? Amortization on player deals. All these guys we just bought and everything, so expenses are going to go up. You're also going to have Club World Cup money going in there, but expenses are going to be tied to that. If you ask me, because we are still so close in these numbers to getting where they need to be, to what Giuntoli has actually been tasked with to do, I can totally see it. If you sell Fagioli, Vlahovic, and Cambiasso and you walk away with almost 100 in capital,
Done deal.
if that's enough to take this conversation and fuck it, throw it to the side and then actually be able to answer the questions, what is Giuntoli's vision? Does he want to pick up Italian players? Are we going to say goodbye to like experienced players forever? Are we never going to pick these guys up? Are we going to continue to sell other talents? If it means I get closer to finding that out, I want to do it. I want to do it because I want to know what the actual game plan is. If we have just become a team that just wants to remain status quo for the numbers, or if we actually do have ambitions about winning fucking trophies. And that's all I have to say about the numbers, the Cambiasso deal, etc. I need to know. Skanga?
Well, we don't need this. Well, actually, if you leave this up, so on parallel to that, there's the financial fair play rules that Giuntoli also has to follow now. And there's really three things he has to look at. One of them is as of June 2024, your player expenses, wages, transfers, bonuses, agent commissions cannot be more than 90% of your revenue. Right? So how it worked out last year, it can't be more than 80% of your expenses. So that it worked out to like 87%. This June, that can't be more than 80%. Next June, it can't be more than 70%. So every year you have to cut wages down to get you below the 70% threshold. And now, to your point, Berto, that might have moved because of COVID. We're not sure yet. That might have moved out a couple of years, but those guardrails are there for financial fair play. So he has to lower wages and lower operating expenses at the same time. There's another one where it was what you've said a lot of time, Berto. Okay, we don't need this anymore. We can go to normal screen. You have to, over a 3-year period, you have to break even on calculations. Some years can be higher, lower, right? Negative, plus. So he has to keep that in mind. With that, you can have 100 million or 60 million euro overrun, and your owner is allowed to, put the bond back in the team. But like you said, Exor is not going to do that.
They said that's the exact point. Yeah. They said no more. They don't want to do it. And the shareholders understand. If you keep pumping into your teams, a lot of places don't care. Guess what? When you have a club that's got shareholders, etc., they understand that it means nothing. And it does nothing for them if they have to keep pumping in those bonds. So the team still does it, and they've always done it because of Elcal, etc., and Yeli, but they hate doing it, and rightfully so.
You have a percentage on your wages of your total revenue going down. You have limited options for your owner to put money into your team. The third one I thought was really interesting that I found is if you get a sponsor. We complain about other clubs when they say, hey, the owner found a sponsor they also own it. I think PSG has whatever, the airline. The owner also owns an airline that sponsors the team and gives them a bunch of money. Let's just say X-Source said, people say, why don't we just get Ferrari to give us money? You can do that. But what the financial fair play rules are going to calculate is they're going to look at benchmarks across UEFA. And if Ferrari gives us $100 million as a sponsor, for example, wow, great, write the books. But according to financial fair play, they'll look at other automobile sponsors. And if they're all 20 million, they're going to count 20 million towards financial fair play.
I don't know if it's even, is it even automobile, or did it say if it was in the family? Any company sponsors?
Yeah, I just use that as an example.
Yeah.
I just use that as an example.
Any sponsors that are in the same corporate umbrella or family get hit with a benchmark. They can't set their sponsorship value.
Well, how does that work for Paris Saint-Germain and Man City, who directly use the same company?
I spent so much on Juve, I don't want to even dive into their financials.
So that's the Juve tax. I mean, we can't afford to do that.
we don't
point
know
is,
what their breakdown is. Their breakdown could potentially be a benchmark for that number. But what it's claiming is that even through sponsorship, even all these people that are saying, we've got
you
Ferrari,
can
got
do.
this, dump the money, it doesn't work
It doesn't
that
work
way. And until you grasp that and everything, and I just, again, to reiterate, we took a step back. We were so close not getting into European play last year, set us back. We were negative 117 million after taxes the year prior. And then, as you can see again, negative 200 just like that because of no Champions League. But Giuntoli made a lot of moves in the summer. He's banking on certain things. Champions League this year, round of 16, and top 4. Those are musts to keep everything in line. That's why for me, again, I'm going to say it again. I understand being passionate about players. I understand being affectionate towards players, etc. But I really need to know if we become one of these clubs that they just care about keeping a steady flux on revenue, these bare minimum achievements, etc., and or if they actually have ambition about winning some fucking trophies. I need to know that. And we won't know until we fix that.
Let's kind of leave the financial side and just look. The way I see it, I'm not big on financials and money and calculus. I'm not big on that. I'll take your word for it. I get that Juve need a lot of money. Now, looking at the league, and just have that difference from what, let's say, Milan are doing with whoever, Redbird, or I don't even know who their owners are. Because what we're talking about right now is basically what they did with Tonali. They spend a lot of money on bolstering the team with like 11 new players and such, and it didn't work out on the pitch. So their books might be fine, but they let go of a good player with a dream to play for Milan, and as far as he's concerned, he would play there for whatever amount they wanted for the rest of his career. Now, Cambiasso made about the same statement, I don't know, a few months ago. And I think it's a bad message to have the players that want to be here no matter what, and you're just a means for money for us. I don't like the money game so much. I get why it's necessary. And because of what Tony said, I think Dusan sticks out as a sore thumb.
This is why I need to. This is why I need to know though, because I don't want to be compared to Milan with their management, because their management is exactly talking about the shit I don't want to get into. Milan's management has already come out several times stating they have shareholders, they have etc. We know where we need to be year in, year out, and that's better for us long term. He said nothing about winning trophies, about being at the top, about being the most competitive across all fronts. Nothing of the sort.
Cool.
And that's why I'm saying I need to know that. I need to know that. I absolutely need to know that about this friggin' team, if the ambitions are genuine and true to our standards, or if we've become yet again just another one of these teams. Because if that is, I need somebody in there immediately right now that actually will hold this club to some type of standard and actually give a shit.
And I challenge anybody here. You can go look at the Juventus financial statement on their website. The salaries start at page 70 and what players cost. Quick numbers. Rovella, we made 7 million. Barnechea, we made 7. Sule, we made 24. Illing Jr., we made 14. Keane, 5 to 8. Chiesa, we made 5. And they all had 1 or 2 years left on their contract. If you look at the players that are being moved, and Cambiasso is he's the next one on the list, where you sell him for a high fee, that pretty much ends it, is what it looks like and what Berto's getting to. And selling Dusan, because Dusan his was a massive number. 39 million he was 39 million on the books as of last June.
The other thing I'm going to say this is Milan and their transfer strategy should not be really looked at because they made a
No.
mistake starting with Paolo Maldini. And ever since then, it's been also scattered too. I really don't like
No,
using
I
that
don't take
example.
them.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
use
take
that
them.
example. I would probably aim towards a different example of a team that's being run fantastic financially, the best in Italy, and that's Atalanta. And Atalanta has this many fears about selling players. Every year in, year out, they have this many fears. Do their
Well, because their
fans give a
expectations
shit?
are lower.
No, they don't give a shit because they just won a Europa League, for Christ's sake. They're competing at the top of the league now. They're starting to find consistency now, and they're doing it through good business. And if you want to talk about Atalanta's got costs that are nowhere near ours, well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to look at costs. We're trying to make it work. Again, the reinvestment is what the biggest thing is. And this will answer questions on Juntali too. If he was to get this capital, this was to put us home free, and we blow it.
And wait,
Income.
okay, so let me clarify. I'm not taking Milan as an example. If you do this, exactly the same thing would happen. I say Juve. I get that you need the money. Keep the balance because Milan's board made it clear we don't care about trophies. We want the books level with no issues. Juve should go that route to some degree, but keep some of the soul of the club and the thing that keeps fans glued to the TV screen, and that's not all money.
And I'm
That's
saying
my
that the
point.
finances right now are dictating your soul.
Important. And how long did it take Atalanta to win that Europa League of doing the same type of business? It took them
Yeah,
seven
but you
years.
know
Do
how
we
long
have
it took them to build up those resources? Because they don't have the resources we have. So it's
a
still,
lot of time? And it didn't work out for Dortmund, and it didn't work out for Lyon, and some of those clubs that are doing everything right by the book as they need to. Most of them have nothing to show for it. Atalanta were scratched off that list last season when they won the Europa League.
the
That's where I stand.
the thing is that soul or not, finances are dictating what goes down, especially in Italy. We want to act like we're in a position to keep everybody when you're not. You're really not. Unless you want to go in, year out with the same team when you've seen a shortcoming. If you've seen, I see several shortcomings in this squad. If I
Is
can
it
fix it,
Cambiaso?
if I could fix it with one move, I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't hesitate. And if it means getting rid of what's dictating your soul, which is the money, I'm not on the same side as anybody who says keep that excuse around. Let's sell Vlahovic. Let's make 10 million there. That'll fund a Mercado. Yeah. No, it won't. It won't even get you his replacement selling him for 40. Because people are like, yeah, 40 million buys you so-and-so. Guess what? You make 10 out of that. So you got to find somebody that over amortization gets you that much in salary and that much in his purchase price. Gets you nothing. Sell Fagioli, 25 million. Yeah, great. That's good capital. That'll probably buy you one player. Is that enough to take this team the rest of the distance from this year to next year?
Yeah. So there's a perception out there.
You do free up a lot of salary on Vlahovic. That is true as well. But guess what? That just goes out of your expenses. But your expenses are still affected because of the amortization of the guys you just bought in 168 million Mercado.
Yes, but they're split out over. They have long contracts, which helps.
It's your annual cost, the same.
I agree with Omer. I'm with
I
Omer.
get it. I get it.
Yeah, like we all get it, but like the perspective we all have is like, why are we doing this? That's what we were sitting at yesterday. So, Berto, I want to get a better perception of what's going. Sorry, everyone has a perception that Juntali's just kind of like a cowboy out there. He's just selling everybody. But when you look at the numbers, you got to get a perspective from where he's sitting. It's like, okay, you have financial fair play. We're have
this close.
The books. We are selling three players away from basically being
You were so close to home free, and to never have to think like that again. To be able to just work through your mercado and have your numbers balanced.
And he did it in basically under 2 years.
That is the biggest thing I got to take away from here is if like you need to make that sacrifice right now to just to erase that from all of our discussions, etc. That's like, hey, they did the job they were tasked with doing. And it would suck to say goodbye to him.
But well. We've said bye to better players.
So
now,
just one last question. Do you prefer doing those type of businesses around January? Because
no,
like I said,
I've said the whole time you don't move them in January.
Yeah, because because January is, like we said, a panic window, and when you get to the summer, then you have better view of what your financial year is going to be like, because you know that you're going to be in the Champions League, in the Club World Cup, and whatever, and what you've won and the money you made from everything, and it's easier to make deals that way, I assume. So if we get to the summer and we've made some money from qualifying in Champions League, even going a bit far, then maybe that price that we need to deduct becomes lower, and maybe you don't need to sell a Cambiasso for a 70.
I disagree in the sense that it's better to be sellers in January. You don't want to be buyers.
Yeah.
But if you can sell, you're not going to get it. Right. You're not going to get January money for Cambiasso that you're going to same money that you're going to get in June. Right? Because there's more people on the market. People are panic buying now, and you want to be a seller. You won't get 70 million for him this summer.
The question is what will it do to Juve's season on the pitch eventually? If those guys takes time to integrate and
it does,
it does work out quite well, there is an effect on the pitch for Juve, even financially going into next season if it doesn't work out.
100% agree. But to Berto's point, you have to
you're going to hit and miss on targets all the time. Doesn't mean like you stop taking your shots.
It has to be calculated shots.
You don't stop. If you are this close to home free financially after the shit we have all gone through since COVID, I don't understand not wanting to be home free. That's essentially where my mind's gone, because after you study the numbers, you look at it and you realize how close we are. My affection for Cambiasso will take a back seat to just getting this done. That's as easy as I could put it for me, everybody. Because I'm affectionate towards a player. Like I said, he's one of my favorites on the team, if not my favorite. But I understand, and I need that gone. Period. Punto basta. So has to go. If you're this close, get it over the finish line.
I think we beat the dead horse here, but it kind of moves into the next one with the hit and misses. Can we get into the hit and misses real quick?
We got to get into the hit and misses because Giuntoli's taken so much heat that it's also gone into these hit and misses and guys that are labeled flops. And, Nico was labeled a flop, but he was hit with injuries and stuff like that. Do you guys still feel he's a flop?
Can we
just go all of a sudden starting to be crucial?
Never felt he was.
Okay,
I didn't think it was a flop.
Not even close to a flop. And we'll get the chat in on this too. Di Gregorio, hit or miss?
Hit.
Cabal before his injury.
Hit.
Too early to tell for me.
We'll say
he's definitely not a flop, so put him on the hit list.
Kalulu.
Not on the hit list.
That's a hit.
That bad.
Yeah. Kalulu's a hit at 17
Kalulu
million.
is an absolute hit.
That's a hit.
Tudam? Okay.
Hit.
Absolute hit.
Colt Miners is not a flop, so he'd have to go on the hit. It's not a flop.
Douglas Luiz.
Could potentially be one.
He's riding the edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chico.
Chico's a hit. If we get him too and land him for 30 mil, that's a hit.
Who am I missing?
I don't think anybody, because Ibagula and Savola came through next gen.
That's the next one. So we look at all the players that we brought in as hit and misses or whatever. Why can't people give a little bit of praise to Juntli Mota for not letting players go? We didn't sell Mbengula, we didn't sell Savona, we didn't sell McKennie. Keeping those players is just as much of a hit as not selling like other players or picking up other players. You have to give the guy praise for sometimes for getting the right players in, but also not letting the right players leave.
Look, Real would have sold Modric after one season because he won flop of the season at La Liga in his first season at Real. I mean,
Yeah, that's right. He did.
we gotta be like slow. Everyone wants to predict who the next hit and who the next flop is, and the predictions are way too early for
I
me
gotta
to,
see
to
the
call that out.
latest. I want to see the expense numbers on this year with all these deals, the amortization that goes across on an annual basis. But I stand firm that everything he did in the summer made sense. Right now, it's getting a little questionable because January, where's the cavalry? I felt like he spent a lot of time going after deals that were never going to get done in January. But let's see what finalizes. At the end of the day, you can only judge a guy on what's finalized. But let's see what happens. And then the second part is Malta's got to put it together on the pitch.
He does.
And we've said, like, the frustrating part about this season is we've been capable of beating the teams that we're drawing. Like, we've been capable the entire time. Have we seen a shift? Hopefully. I think we can all agree the attitude and approach has at least been spot on for Atalanta and then Milan past two games. Are we in agreement there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's been spot on. It's been way better as far as attitude and approach goes. So today, you got to carry it on, and we've got to talk about today's game against Club Brugge. They've got 5 wins in a row in all competitions. They are 18 unbeaten, 15 wins, 3 draws, all competitions. This dates back to the last defeat against Milan in Champions League. Funny enough, they're the last Belgian side to actually beat an Italian team, and it was Milan back in 2003. But that's their last defeat this season so far. They've netted 2 in their last 8 outings at home. And, of course, this includes they've defeated Villa and Sporting in returns to form after that defeat to Milan. A win for them also secures them the knockout playoff phase there. Okay? Yep. So it's going to be big for Club Brugge. If you're going to look at what they are potentially going to be looking at for lineups, let's see where we got here. So 4-2-3-1 is what is expected, but I said they're a little bit of a wild card because they've played 3 different setups. But this is what we're looking at for them. In terms of lineups, obviously you'll see their 10 there. Vanaken will be the playmaker, and he's kind of the one that dictates a lot for this side. Very, very active, moves around a lot, and he'll be the one to watch when it comes to Bruges. For Juventus,
hang on, does this Club Brugge team have anybody that I should know?
The only one I know is Vanaken.
Vanaken's probably the
one.
Long
time. He's been there for a very long time.
Okay.
At least since 2016.
Their goalkeeper, Mignolet, why is that so familiar?
Oh, Mignolet was at Liverpool. He was a sub-keeper at Liverpool.
There we
if I
go.
remember correctly.
Now, for us, Di Gregorio, Savona, Gatti, Kalulu, Cambiaso, Locatelli, Luiz, Cope Miners, Mbangula, Weah, and, of course, Nico Gonzalez. I think it was unanimous. You keep going with Gonzalez.
You ride that hot hand.
Yeah. Douglas Luiz and Locatelli operating in the midfield together. What are your thoughts on that? A lot of people said that won't work, that doesn't work.
It might not work, but maybe because of the way they play, because, looking at their results, Bruges' results, they do score a lot of goals. They are kind of an offensive team. I guess they all carry the same methods into today's game. And those two should really help us break out of a press and go on counterattacks. with just passing, basically. I mean, Locatelli's passing stats are like the best in Serie A. He's been phenomenal in this aspect.
Remember when
And
everybody thought Locatelli was a flop halfway through his first season? That was funny. Remember those times?
yeah,
Anyways,
and I think we're good enough, even with Luis and Locatelli, far superior, and we should get the better of them. I don't see it being a problem in this match.
Luca
I
says I
thought
would have
Luis
bench Colt Miners, start Louise with Thuram and Luca.
2 games ago, Luis played 90 minutes and he played well.
Thuram
Last
needs a little bit of a breather too.
Yeah. I think Delis Luis has played 2. Last game he came in as a sub, played well again.
The reason I think this is going to be okay and it's going to work is if we continue doing a couple things that have been working great, which is Locatelli actually dropping back between Kalulu and Gatti to collect the ball. If we don't just bomb our mids aimlessly to the front line and actually allow them to just hang back a bit, that one extra level ahead of Locatelli, this actually makes sense, and it could still work perfectly fine with Douglas Luiz there next to Locatelli. Because Locatelli could drop back between Kalulu and Gatti. Luiz and Colt Miners could keep that next level. And Luiz could be second level, and Colt Miners can look to be advanced, or vice versa, going from right to left or left to right. So I think as long as we do that, it'll be good. But the key here is no McKennie, who has been big. It's been big. So all the guys, Chico, Yildiz, and McKennie, they all made the squad list. None of them in here to start this game. I fully expected that. Big match on the weekend against Napoli. Savona.
Also, like options off the bench.
Are they off?
Yeah.
They're on the bench though, right? They're both on the bench.
They're all on the squad list. Savona has got to get proper support up advanced. The blueprint was laid on what a massive difference these two shifts make. Locatelli coming back, get the ball away from these fucking defenders. Okay? Pick it up, distribute properly. But the blueprint was laid on the fullback role, how crucial that is to get forward and give freedom to those wingers as well, and just help in terms of the overall chemistry and build-up in general. McKennie was insane last game. Savona, he is very safety first. Very safety
Savona, first of all, Savona needed a breather, in my opinion. He's been playing a lot for a long time with no sub. And we don't have the new guys yet. Just to clarify, I think it's because we're still in the first round. Like, you can't register them for the group stages. After the group stages, you can register Colomwani and Alberto. So beyond that, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. I think Juve should win comfortably without a lot of fuss. But I'm still not that confident based on everything we've seen this season. So
fair.
So, yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
We have a couple strong performances on the trot with Atalanta and Milan. We've only won consecutive matches 3 times this season, and that's across all comps. If you look to Serie A, it only happened once, the first 2 games of the season. If you include Champions League, it's only happened 3 times altogether. Love to do it today. We haven't lost away from home since April 2024, okay? But again, 10 out of those 15 have been draws. So,
We haven't lost.
Just saying.
Haven't lost.
Juve has kicked off the scoring in their last 4 away matches. If we get the jump and we can keep firing with the right attitude, as we did against Milan here, I like how things are going. Has Malta learned his lesson? Time will tell.
Maybe.
Key stats going into this one.
Uh-oh.
All 4 meetings between Club Brugge and Juve have occurred, obviously, in UEFA Champions League or European Cup previously. Juve have won 3 of those encounters. They lost 1 of them. All right? We'll talk about one of these matches in a bit. Club Brugge won their first 3 games against Italian sides in major competitions during 75-76 UEFA Cup. However, since then, they have struggled against Italian opposition, managing only 2 wins in their subsequent 20 fixtures. All right? Winless in last 14 against Italian clubs. Last time a Belgian team defeated an Italian side, of course, was that match I told you about in 2003 where Club Brugge edged AC Milan 1-0. Club Brugge have won 3 of their 6 Champions League group stage matches this season with a draw and 2 losses. They have only surpassed this tally once, winning 5 matches in the 77-78 European Cup campaign when they reached the final before losing to Liverpool. Juve have kept clean sheets in each of their last 2 Champions League matches. This is an improvement compared to their previous 15 in the competition where we only managed 1. The last time Juve kept 3 consecutive clean sheets in Champions League, October 2021 is the last time we had 3 consecutive clean sheets in Champions League.
I would have said like 2018 or something. But
that's your key stats.
That's
I know you've got the official set the Tony.
Oh yeah, we are heading over to La Belle Province, well, which is Quebec here. But anyways, we have the French referee today, who is Benoit Bastien. Now he's a seasoned referee. He's done 240 League One matches, so he's not a spring chicken. You know,
so he's been an asshole for a long time.
Pretty much. So in League One matches, but it's a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde with this guy. In League One matches, 4.1 yellows per game, 68 reds, so that's a 28% clip, 80 PKs, so a 33% clip in League One. Flip over to Champions League. This son of a bitch, he likes them hot and heavy in Champions League. 23 Champions League matches, 5 yellows per game, 6 red cards, so 26%, right? Pretty much in line with League One. 23 Champions League matches. This mofo, 10 PKs, 43%. He loves pointing to the spot.
All right. I like it. I like it.
Beware.
All right. Well,
beware.
With that, everybody, you know what time it is. Prediction time. Final score.
Slobbering time.
Couple tiebreakers. Who wants to start us off?
I can go. Oh,
Omer said he's going.
Okay, so book it. 3-0 Juve.
Holy shit. I didn't say it. He did.
I did.
I haven't said that in a long time.
Book it.
You said that. You think that's my craziest one? Douglas Luiz is scoring today.
Wow.
Oh. I don't even have him on my scoring chart.
And Nico. And Nico scores one today as well.
Okay.
I leave the third one open. And let's go with 4 yellow cards total.
Okay. Skanga?
Yeah, I can go. I'm going to get the Douglas Luiz. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm ready to go.
We have Matt here saying, put a bet on it, boys. Luiz red. Gonna earn me some money.
Douglas Luiz is plus 750 to score. I like the cut of your jib, bud. I like the cut of your jib, calling him as a goal scorer.
Then put your money where your mouth is.
So you said 3-0 Juve?
Yeah.
That's plus 2,400. Like it. 4-1 is plus 5,500. Anyway, so getting to mine here. Juve is a slight favorite. Draw plus 210. I'm going with the 3-1 win. I have 3-1 written down. I don't think we keep the clean sheet. I got.
Why were you so shocked?
I got scoring. I got Gatti getting one, and I have Dusan coming off the bench to score one. I also have Coop and Nico with assists. Their anytime assists are plus 600 and plus 430. I also have Juventus to score in both halves at plus 280. And then I have found another little bet here. Race to 5 corners. First team to 5 corners, Juventus plus 115. I'm going to take that one.
All right.
I know there's a lot there. Also, over 5.5 cards is plus 160. So over 4.5 is minus 134. So get the betting lines. The Vegas odds makers like a lot of cards in this game.
0-0 at halftime.
You crazy son of a bitch.
A PK kicks our scoring off. 1-0. We win the game 2-0.
Who's the shooter?
It'll be Colt Miners.
Yeah, is he next up after Deuce? If Duson's on the field, I would assume so.
Take a PK. Not scared. Pack a lunch.
Fucking
Colt
send
Miners.
Gatti up there with his steel toes.
Oh yeah, just a classic. Little slaker hit it with the toes. Just a nice steel
Toe blaster.
Toe blast. Yeah, sorry boys, didn't have time to change after work here. Just had to hit the pitch here. So
just get your ass out there. So 2-0. Yeah, who are your scores?
0-0 at half, but 2-0. One goal is a PK, and that'll be Colt Miners. And the second goal will come from. Let's go with. Let's go with.
I'm with you.
It's going to be a substitute because we'll earn the PK through one of those substitutes, and I think that another sub will come in and probably seal this game. And I'm gonna go and say Chico. Chico seals it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add my third goal scorer, and that's going to be Wea.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think Wea is on one.
Well, he's on something.
By the way, flop talks. If we are talking about flops, where do you stand on Wea after last season?
Can I finish my predictions?
Oh yeah.
Like everyone's interrupting, adding to theirs.
Go ahead.
Well, let's go. Like, say them. You're like, oh, I think.
Relax. You do betting lines. You give out fucking 7 tiebreakers.
I give the people what they want.
God.
Now you haven't the birds. They're back.
Enough, you guys. No. Now I've lost. I'm starting all over again. No, my last tiebreaker is probably going to be possession. We'll finish with above 55%.
Oh, you slacker.
60%. I'll put it on that threshold. 60%.
We're going to be over 63%.
No, 60%, I'll say. 58. 58 or over. I like 58.
Okay, 58.5.
There you go.
No.
That wraps things up. So now, Omer, we'll get to yours. We got a bunch in Storm the Barn. We'll try to machine gun because we're running late on time. But what do you got, Omer?
So, where do you stand on him now? He's obviously, with all the flop talks, I get it. He played under a different coach, under a different system, different position. I get it. He's having a very good season for a rotational guy for me right now. Where do you stand on Wea? Has he redeemed himself as the flop we were calling him in the summer?
I don't know if I
didn't call him a flop. He's a utility guy. I think
it's hard to flop at 12 million purchase price. Like, it's really hard to flop. Like, he was a rotational guy. At fullback, like, I don't know. It was weird with Wea because all his preseasons are strong. All of them. But it never really translated into the season. But this year, we were like, okay, let's see him play as a winger and see what can happen. And it's been pretty good. He hasn't played a lot of minutes, but his contributions are strong for the amount of minutes that he's played.
What is it, 9? Like 5 and 4?
He's got 5 goals and 1 assist in 14 matches, not even full matches. That's just Serie A, and then I think he's got another goal in Coppa Italia, and he's got an assist in Champions League. Not a lot of minutes across all of that, right? But what, 6 goals, 2 assists, and all that? 700 something minutes, 6 goals, 2 assists.
It's okay to be a utility guy and
Yeah.
have good days and bad days. He's having more good days and bad days.
Yeah, 780 minutes, something like that. 6 goals, 2 assists. No problems with it.
All day.
Yeah, you take that all day. All day. Easy money.
Absolutely.
For 12 mil back a couple of seasons ago. Yeah, and Leipzig came for him this January, and Juve said no, obviously, because it's like, why would we be getting rid of guys unless it's a crazy deal? But some were saying, hey, take the money if it's good money. I don't know. Too skinny. You don't want to be too skinny.
I got a quick storm the barn I saw in here. Somebody, I can't remember. I think it might have been Tuna. Can't remember who it was. So I'll ask it. Is Savona a first team player?
No. Like, it's not a straightforward no. There are matches and there are matches. There are matches when you need the support of the fullbacks, and he has sort of yet to deliver that for me. Yeah, he has 2 goals, like the Chilio for his entire career. And he's been relatively solid defensively. He has also been beaten on a number of occasions pretty easily, like the first Milan goal in the Supercoppa. I mean, he's a very young guy. Defense is all about experience, positioning. That's stuff you learn, through time. So he's a great guy to have. He looks like a very promising prospect, possibly a future center back. The way I see the way he plays, that's how I view his trajectory going. But he's a good asset to have. I would have liked still like a better option of someone that offers more in attack in games we need it. But overall, yeah, he's a great prospect, and we should keep him.
Yeah,
I'm just scrolling to see who I got it from, but I can't.
Right now, it would be he's on the fringe, I'd say, of being that starting player, because he's just gotta bring it around. If we utilized a different system, where think to Mancini in that Euro run, where he slotted his backs to make 3 center backs, and it was always one wing. It was Spinazzola just bombing, and that's how we created our shape. If you did something like that, you could absolutely be a starting fullback in that and occupy that role and not have to offer the support that we're looking for. The way that we play, it's critical. And it's the one area that's lacking from his game. So he is very close. I still think he's a gem, hell of a prospect. But there's something missing there that obviously affects the overall.
But he's a kid.
And again, McKennie laid it on the line and laid the blueprint. So
see, when you say like the system we play, I agree. He is 1,000% a first team player. This guy does nothing but shut players down. He's a defender. When he's asked to be a defender, he is probably the best of the bunch at shut guys down. No one gets past him.
He's pocketed good players. He's pocketed good players this season. But the game is played on 2 sides of the pitch, and the second side lets him down.
Okay.
There is too many times where he gets the ball and it takes him so long just to collect the thing that the next progression is dead.
But he kind of also, let's say, stumbled onto that situation because of both injuries. Kalulu had to revert to playing center back. I believe that if Bremer or Cabal would have stayed healthy, we would have seen Kalulu a lot more on the right. Savona kind of got into a situation where he's the only natural right back we have on the team that doesn't have to play center back because of injuries.
Yeah. It's interesting. Let's see if we can machine gun some of these before. Oh, I did want to take a look to something way back when too. One of the old matches that we played, old Club Brugge, was back in 2005. 2005, September 14th.
I think us three are the only people here who remember 2005.
It's a Juve victory.
Oh,
What about
Why
these
do you say
kits? What about this uni?
I have that.
Oh, but is that from 2005?
That's
the
2005.
2005, 2006 season, right? So that's group stages, basically.
I love this kit.
I got the home kit here on the bottom.
Yeah, the home kit was beautiful.
I like this one too, to be honest.
Yeah, I love it. Love this.
I like the yellow, blue, yellow. I thought the whole
There
ensemble.
was also a third red one. You probably have it, Berto, which I liked even more.
It was a what?
A red shirt. The third shirt
red
was
one.
a red one in that season. You have it. Of course we have it. You're just a...
He's like, oh, just let me see if there's a shirt. I got
and you
right
also have it on hand, like it's a garage sale of a.
Did you need it in a medium? Hang on, I got you all hooked up right here. Oh, did you
Been
want two?
hiding.
Okay, hang on. What year? What 2005? Okay. Here.
Like Nike outlets.
What a year for kits, boys.
Berto's yard.
Yeah.
That's just class. Like that's just beauty too. It's beautiful. And then the red one.
That's one of my favorites of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I never really liked this one.
Yeah. Well, then send it to me, then, son of a bitch.
I think.
Oh, speaking of.
They used this one 2 years in a row, by the way, because they used it down in after all the shit hit the fan.
Oh, no money for for a third kit. No, but I remember that kit for one reason. I think maybe I'm confusing. There was one match where I was late in about like 10 minutes, and when I tuned in, it was already 3-0, and then there was no goals till halftime, and said, okay, I'm going to be late by 10 minutes to the second half. Maybe it will be 6-0. But no, they ended at 3-0.
Yeah, I'm not big on the red one. I love the yellow, though.
I like it.
I wanted to say that I got since we're going on to shirts and kits, I got the care package from the team in Melbourne.
So, oh yeah, JCD Melbourne Gigi Buffon official fan club.
You got a T-shirt, got a hat, and I got the scarf. This is actually really right.
It's pretty cool.
Club Melbourne scarf. So I'm gonna wear that.
Big shout out to Ricardo Santamaggio. So then you got look at this guy. Nice. Got to get that on the wall there.
2010.
Now back to this game.
Oh, fine.
It was a win for Juve. Any guess on the goal scorers?
I can guess by the names of the players we had at the time, but I don't remember the match at all. And no, Vieira didn't score a lot for us. Let's go like Nedved.
Nedved's there.
What was the score? Like how
2-1. You got one.
2-1. Nedved was one, and Trez was the second one.
You son of a bitch! You nailed it. There you go.
Oh, spot on! Damn.
Nedved first goal. Trezeguet scored the second, and Club Brugge, I think, scored their goal in like the 84th, 85th, something like that. Abbiati in goal. Blasi, Kovac, Cannavaro, Zambrotta, Vieira, Emerson, Camoranesi, Nedved, Ibrahimovic, Trezeguet. Madonna mia. Che squadra.
Blasi with the McKennie blueprint, playing right back.
Guys, on this kit too, that was the Centenario del primo Scudetto. So that was the 100 year of the first Scudetto.
Oh.
So it was always nice. I always loved that about the patch. It was fucking cool.
How many kits are you at now?
What?
400 and how many kits do you have now? 320.
No. 271. And I'm going hunting again very soon. Got a couple more retros to add.
271. I don't think I have 271 shirts just in general, regular shirts.
I don't have 271 pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
That includes socks.
Yeah, I need two jeans and 2 black shirts and I'm good. I don't need anything else.
Okay, let's randomize these because Storm the Barn has just got so crazy. We got like 5-10 minutes. We'll try to just machine gun some of these.
Quick fire.
Is player scouting our
so
problem? Stefano Stefanelli, head of scouting, and Giorgio Chiellini, international relations and scouting. Last summer, Mercado was a bit of a flop. What are your views? I don't think it was a flop. So
scouting's fine.
if I'm looking at scouting, I'm looking at like next gen, and next gen continues to stockpile talent. That's another steady cash flow, and guys will get integrated, and then from there it's up to them whether they remain or not. Let's go.
When did Chiellini get the role? I believe it was after the summer, right? It wasn't there for
Christmas.
Yeah.
It was in the fall.
Yeah, so none of that is on him.
It was during this season. Like the season had already started.
Yeah, it wasn't here for the summer market.
No.
I mean, everybody's got eyes since we lost Tognozzi, who was doing an incredible job with Next Gen. So everybody's all sketched out because all these names, Illing Jr., Barnechea, like all these guys, Hoysen, were from Tognozzi. Same with Sule. So everybody's all sketched out. Are we done? Well, we're still tied to really, really good talent and still bringing in. Mirko Di Natale has a new 3 names like every other week that Juve's in on or trying to bring into next gen. So I'm not overly concerned right now. Swati, I read reports that Tin Pot Arsenal are on the lookout for Seshko El Osimhen. What does that mean for Juve and Dusan?
No idea.
We're heading down the same road. Vlahovic is going to be the summer where we look to shop him.
Yep.
We wait.
Both of those guys, to be honest, are going to be summer moves. I like Galatasaray. Osimhen is loaned there, so they can't buy him. They need to buy him from Napoli. And Cesco Leipzig are in the Champions League. He's kind of not their only striker, but he's an important cog. So I don't see them selling him in January. So all those talks are going to happen in the summer.
Do you guys see all 3 of Dusan, Cambiasso, and Luiz being sold by next summer?
No. Just the 2. Just the first.
Just
my guess
Cambiasso
is
and
one.
Dusan. Omer?
My guess is one. One of those guys going to be sold.
My guess is 2. I actually believe Juve doesn't have any intention of moving Luiz, to be honest.
Not even in the slightest.
And think about this. We want to move him now when you have a coach that barely trusts Fagioli for 10 minutes time.
What are we talking about?
And we want to move Luiz in January. And
that's right.
And no, I'm not buying it.
I know. I've been Duchan's agent for the longest time. Yes, I am saying to write the books, and the way Nico's playing, it's got to be sold.
Yeah, that 30 mil, that's a lot of chicoria on that salary.
A lot of chicoria on the books.
Today won't be easy against Burger.
Okay.
God, I love burgers, man. Good homemade burger on the barbecue. I don't think they're unbeaten in their last 18 All Cups. I mean, nothing will be easy. They're at home. Like I said, there's a lot riding it for them because they want to qualify for the playoffs. To
do you ever get the cheese stuffed burgers? Like the burgers with the cheese in the patty? Do you ever get those?
No, man. You go down to Gary's Deli. You walk in there. You ask for the cheese stuffed Smokies, and they're unbelievable. Jalapeno cheese stuffed Smokies.
What's a Smoky? Is that a sausage?
What's a Smoky? Yeah. It's like better than a hot dog. It's like legit.
Legit. Cheese, yeah.
Gary, shout out to Gary. Gary's Deli. Hey, yo, take care of your boy, hey? Let's go. Now, sorry. How much money has Skankavito made by betting on Juve draws this season?
Somebody mentioned earlier here, do I have a gambling problem? I do not. I just give the lines. I don't place sometimes I place all these bets, but no, I don't have a gambling problem.
I have a money problem, not a gambling problem.
No.
Yeah.
60% of the time. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. Forza Juve. Do you think Giuntoli has been disappointing so far?
No, not even the slightest.
Omer?
No.
Jury's out.
I would say that, yes. So far, I am not disappointed. I'm raising questions. I still have questions. Like I said, with the money, get that excuse gone so I can see what your actual intentions are.
I do agree that the Rugani one, when you look at the finances, makes 0 sense. That one,
I agree.
no
Just
idea.
being thin in general at the back made zero
That
sense,
one
and
makes
no
no
backup striker going in this year was like, what the. And now January 21st, and still searching for a center back.
We'll be fine.
It's always good. Saw a report today.
Uh-oh.
Not sure how true it is. Colo is apparently giving really nice first impressions, and Vlahovic is going down the pecking order. I heard that too.
Yeah,
Take it for what it is.
Today.
If the pecking order has goal scorers at the top, I don't give a shit who's at the top. We need to start winning games.
Yeah. We haven't even seen Colo play with the actual team, so I mean,
oh, he's great on 7-on-7. Let's get him out there.
Maybe he has an impact, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? Let's wait and see.
Maybe.
But Vlahovic needed to be challenged anyways, so if we had any hopes. So see what happens. If we can get 50 million for Vlahovic this mercado, we should let him go. Isn't there any single team that is ready to pay that sum? Why do we always find hard to sell our players at a good price? January is simply not for, like, it's for teams in serious pinches, and you get taken on price. Like, it's not for buyers. January's not for buyers, right?
Or with no money limitations. I mean, City are doing tons of business in January.
City's in this mad scramble before their bans come in, so they just want to load their team up.
I think they're feeling safe. That's why they're allowing themselves to spend. Again, they have like 115 charges, and they're still overspending.
I did say this, though, with Kolo Muani in, with Nico Gonzalez back healthy, doing what if 50 came for Vlahovic like today, I'd sign. And I'd say, see ya. I'd take that 20 in capital and be like, that's probably the best we're going to get.
You're making about 20 there, yeah. I see a lot of messages here about Houston. Houston was 17 million in plus Valenza. Plus we have a 20 to 30% sell-on clause. So we all liked Houston. Yeah. Money was too good to pass up.
Again, I'm going to go back to my rant before. I'd love to be in a position where we don't have to think about moving a guy that we maybe don't want to, because we've cleaned up the finances. That's why I'm just all for whatever gets that out. It's not we don't have to do anything we don't want to. We're not forced. We're not like, oh, we should really take it. We need to clean up these books. Get me to that point as quick as possible, please.
And again, people say, hey, we sold Illing Jr. and Barnechea for $22 million and then spent down Luis. No. We made $22 million, and we have an agreement for $50 million for Luis over 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not the same. We have immediate money coming in, and we have slow money going out.
And it's not like it didn't happen before. I mean, with center backs, Dragoshin was sold to Tottenham for a huge price. Also, what's his name? Romero, Demiral. I mean, all those guys, he wasn't sold for a high price, but center backs are tough.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep them, it's hard to make them perform.
Moran's have a feeling that Danilo being around was holding the team back. Other leaders like Locatelli didn't want to take the armband out of respect for the guy, and that led to an armband rotation.
Maybe.
Maybe. RB Cobbs is saying, I got to give credit to Luca this season. He's shut me completely up. I can admit when I'm wrong, and Luca's been immense this season. He has. Luca's our one true leader, I said the other day.
Yeah, I agree.
He's our one true leader.
McKennie's also a leader, but he just does it with like his actions. I wouldn't give him the armband, but he's playing like a leader.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Mark saying, are we taking Club Brugge lightly with the probable Juve team? I think we are taking a bit for granted. That is a mistake. Bruges has been unbeaten 6. I don't think it's a mistake. I think we need to, like, the team needs to live up to the beliefs we have, because I think we've been right all along. And I think the past 2 matches shown that we've been capable of more the entire time.
We're unbeaten since October as well.
Yeah. I don't think we're taking them lightly. I think this is a game we should be the victors.
Yes.
Will it happen? Well, I mean, anything can happen. So we'll go from there. Is there a kit you don't have that you wished you had? Oh, Juve or maybe a different team. Yes, there is. There is.
Okay, so
Is it like
for
a-
Berto, it's a harder question for Berto, so I'll answer straightforward. And of course, Juve kits, each and every one of them. I don't have too many, so I would welcome any one of them. But a specific kit, I want to buy Batistuta at Fiorentina away white kit.
With the Nintendo on the front?
Yeah.
Purple with Nintendo is classic. Fiorentina had a classic with 7-Up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at him. He's got the Batti goal.
Let's go.
In the
I do
white
have.
or the purple?
I forgot I got this one for myself before Christmas. I got this.
In the... Oh,
And then they put his name on the back, so I just got this one for me.
yeah.
I don't think he has his name on the back for this, so I got one of the old throwback ones.
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
good one. I have a few are not Juve related. I have Thorsten Frings in Germany, Marco Reus at Dortmund, Schweinsteiger at Bayern. Like I like to buy kits of players I like in general.
The
Not
kit...
Berto, do you have that throwback kit, the one they had a couple of years ago? It was like the kit from like the 1920s, whatever it was. But it was like a
Yeah,
special. It didn't really. What, was it
He does have it. I remember he has
The
it.
120th anniversary?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah.
What
You-
was
you
it,
got
The
that one?
stripes and
2017?
just the stars right here? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
2017.
The one I'd probably say is we had a lot of sponsorship changes. Funny enough, the 05-06 one, home one, had a different backing for Champions League. I cannot find the one with the different backing for Champions League that I want. It looked so sick with the yellow. The other one is the Cinque Maggio shirt, except I want it with the 2Mobile sponsorship in it rather than the Fast Web. I like both versions. Those are kits I want. If we're talking about, I do have the Palace one. Yep.
I don't know how you remember all these kits.
I actually want, like, if we're talking about players and everything, like I have Totti Roma kits and stuff. I never wear them, but like Totti for me growing up was Totti Del Piero. I have an AC Milan Maldini. I have guys that just in the game that I always admired or liked or whatever. If I had to dive out, I'd probably say I'd love like a Zola Chelsea kit. I was a big Zola fan. Loved Zola. Vialli, I think would be cool.
Vialli
It would
Chelsea,
be cool
yeah.
to have a Vialli Chelsea kit as well.
Mm-hmm.
People always ask you if you were going to support an English side, who would it be? And I always said, well, because of Zola, Vialli, it would probably be Chelsea. But I don't, and I won't. So
Pirlo at Brescia is a killer one to have.
that'd be a cool kit.
The one I don't have is the Baggio at Brescia shirt. That's the one. That's another one I wanted to get.
Baggio
Fun.
Brescia would be, yeah, for sure. That'd be class. Mitch has got one. Don't you think McKennie, especially with the midfield we got right now, is a better fullback? I do.
Sure.
I think I'm 2 shows removed from when I said his best has always been on the outside right. Even if we go back to last season, he was a right wing back predominantly, and he was awesome at it. I think his weaknesses do not hurt there. Speed, technique, but his positives come through, and he did well. Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Mitch.
Do you ever see yourselves getting the McKennie jersey?
Yeah, why not?
Right now, another reason why I want those finances cleaned up, I feel zero safety getting names on the back of kits anymore. So
Okay, I'll make a call.
give me that freedom.
If Juve do make it into the Champions League by the end of the season, I'm buying a McKennie kit for next season. like the new kit, and you can decide if it's away, third, home, whatever.
Brave.
I could rock a McKinney kit. Dude was a stand-up guy in Los Angeles. He was bagged. You could tell he was bagged. He was hanging out in the lounge. It still took the time to say what's up to everybody. Take some photos. Like, just a good shit. McKinney is a good shit. Plus, just make sure you keep eyes on your sisters. Okay? Just make sure you keep eyes on your sisters around Big Mac there.
This guy hunts.
This guy is a savage, man. One day you see him wolving down a pizza like it's the last one on planet Earth, and then the next thing he's next to Mudrik's girl out of nowhere. This guy, keep eyes on McKinney. You'll lose him. Call your sisters. Take care of him. But you guys,
not American. He's not
had
American.
a lot of fun.
Texas.
God, I love the kit talk. I love it all. But it's game day. It's time to see what Juve can do. This is a big one. Can we keep momentum going? Let's see, because we got a big one on the backside of it against Napoli as well. Tomorrow, post-match podcast. Another victory show. You got 3 predictions right here across the board saying it's going to be a victory show. Obviously, because of work, we'll not be able to rock a watch-along. My apologies for that. So, no RB, no watch-along, unfortunately. But we'll be together in spirit, all right? Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Let's beat the crap out of Club Brugge, and then we'll tackle it tomorrow and get ready for Napoli. And the Chihuahua check-ins could be interesting in the build-up to that game. You guys, absolutely fantastic as always. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Skega, Omer, absolute pleasure as always. Guys, take care of business today. Let's go, Juve. Ciao, ciao, everybody. Take care.
Set the tone.
Totally. Set the totally.
The Tony.